Hello, everyone. Nice to have all of you here. Level seems okay. And thank you for the audio check, Mr. Audio Guy, Rob. Okay. So everything looks okay here. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you here and nice to be back here. We're going to adjust that a little bit. Here we go. So, welcome aboard. This is the Saturday show, of course, every Saturday at 20 hours Universal Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific. We are here live to talk about radio, and it's a lot of fun to be here. It's been a big radio weekend, basically, because I was going to talk a little bit about a little event that happened yesterday in the local radio station here that I was part of. It was really a lot of fun. Also, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Some AM radio stations signing off because of Bell Media on the West Coast, while on in the prairies and Calgary and so on up to Ontario. And we are going to talk about a station from Shortwave that's gone now, 6030 kilohertz CFVP out of Calgary, because of the Bell Media cuts. Station's gone, so don't try to find it. There's no more 6030 out of Calgary, Alberta, unfortunately. So, anyways, my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That's the northeast part of North America. And this is a show about radio of every kind, from shortwave radio, medium wave, or what we call here in North America, AM radio, FM radio, VHF, scanner radio, long wave. It's radio. We talk about it. CB radio, amateur radio, even making live contacts on the air sometimes. I'll also talk about a little event coming up that I'll be trying to do a little something this week. I'll be making amp contacts with different modes, and I will be actually participating in a little something. If you guys want to have one of those beautiful VE2 ZZI amateur radio QSL cards, a real one, paper one, sent to you by mail, I will be posting on the Facebook group a few times, moments that I'll be actually doing amateur radio contacts. And if you guys hear me, and no cheating, you cannot use an SDR. It has to be in your home with your own radio. Well, if you send me a report this week, you get a QSL card by mail. So with beautiful Paul the Cat. So this is going to be fun. We have a beautiful chat room. If you are have a Google account, you can join in the chat room. It's a lot of fun. Lots of people, lots of great people too. That's also why sometimes I'm far behind in all the questions and everything, because I just get into saying hello to everybody, and sometimes I'm a little far behind. So hang in there, be there with me. And of course, we're going to talk about radio. We'll tune around any signals that there are to tune around. I was actually tuning. Let me just change here to because I was on the some FT8. Not too bad of a signal of Voice of America via Botswana 15580. So that's the signal you see there on the screen. Received here with my end fed on the Yaesu FTDX10. And of course, we might fire up this good old 1949 radio and tune it around a little bit a little later if you guys feel like it. I think I didn't turn it on for maybe 2 weeks now. And I love playing with this radio. It's a lot of fun. So, we're going to do a few things today and talk radio, of course, and everything. Once the party is over here, well, we have a Facebook group. You can go in there. There's a lot of activity. We're more than 3,000 members, and you can just join in the fun and share what you're listening to, um, radios you have, whatever, ask questions. This is a great place if you're new to the hobby. It's a great place if you're an experienced radio guy, been listening, been doing radio for 50 years, amateur radio. Everybody's welcome. Everybody here is in a place where they should feel welcome. That's the basics of this place, and I think we have the best radio gang around. I look around at all the other groups, and all I can say is, I think our group is above the quality of anything else, and I know, and it's because of you guys too. And I mean, without you guys, it wouldn't be like that, and without you guys, there wouldn't be a show, there wouldn't be this channel, there wouldn't be any of that. So welcome aboard, everybody, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. Say hello now to KW1161. Nice to have you here. Matt, MDK2 in Denver, Colorado. Nice to have you on board. Always nice to have you here. It's cool today. It's in the 60s, raining, kind of one of those gray days. Looks more like, October than June, but we're going to get into the hot weather. We're supposed to be in the 90s starting about Wednesday. And for several days here in Montreal, it's going to be hot and muggy. So summer is definitely around the corner. KW1161 is in Tucson, Arizona. Rob, nice to have you here from Phoenix, Arizona. We have the Shortwave Archive. Nice to have you here from Colorado. Masters Players Radio and Television Plus Gaming. Nice to have you here, Bobby. WA5107 SWL in Morgan City, Louisiana. We have Robert Cross. Nice to have you on board from the UK. David's Radio Room from Central Georgia. We have Nick Amendel from Romania. We have Dwayne. Nice to have you here from Northeast Tennessee. What else do we have? We have Richard Wagner. Nice to have you here from Northeast Illinois. We have check it out here. RJDA Dakota. Nice to have you here from Winsville, Missouri. And nice to have you on board. Listening to World Radio. Yeah, that 1860 kilohertz broadcast from, what is it? Whiskey Alpha Zero, Romeo, Charlie Romeo, something like that. RCR, I think is the call letters. RJ Dakota 920 has been repeating 101.7 FM, and now it's off the air completely. RJ Dakota 1010 repeating Talk Radio Network and no longer religion. Okay. What else do we have? Shortwave Archive. Obviously, everyone's FM E-skip been going. I got to say here, it's been rather bad. Not that much. I see a lot of E-skip and a lot of people, like on the 6 meter band. I was monitoring 6 meters all day this week, pretty much every day. And I barely had any E-skip. And I mean, when FT8 on 6 meters is not there, that thing is there. It was very quiet, and it's kind of a quiet time right now. Hopefully, he's going to pick up a little more. Ray Boyle, nice to have you here from Stockport, Britain. We have Anthony Franz from Stormy, Florida. John Beckham, nice to have you here from Northeast Florida. Skipwave DX, nice to have you on board from the Catskill Mountains of New York. We have Michael, nice to have you here from Poland. Nice to have Poland around. DX Swinger, nice to have you here from Southeast Pennsylvania. We have, let me try to get that down. Robert Varner, nice to have you here. KC2TEL in New Jersey. Francis Moore from Birmingham, UK. We have Jean Arrache, salut et bienvenue. We have Michael. I think I said hello. John Macon, it's nice to have you here. Ricardo, nice to have you here from Portugal. We have Jet Crafter, nice to have you here from rainy southern Maine. Probably the same weather we're having here in Montreal, not that far away. Um, we have Greg, nice to have you on board. We have Chuck Schreiber, nice to have you here from South Texas, N5KVO. We have RY491 in the UK. We have John Mickham says the live shortwave radio stream is absolutely the best shortwave radio show on the internet. Thank you so much. Robert Cross, do I need to record you talking on the radio for proof? You don't need to record. Just I'll trust the honesty of everyone of hearing me and just giving a report. You got to give details though that you heard my call letters. If I was making a contact with some other station, what was the call letters? And if I was calling CQ, at what time was I calling CQ and on what frequency did you hear me calling CQ and what mode? So, anyways, all the details will be on the group. Risto, nice to have you here from Stockholm, Sweden. SM0SBT. Otters Crafter's Kitchen, nice to have you here from Massachusetts. Nice to have you on board. We have Glenn, nice to have you here from humid South Carolina. And Carol, W7WXV from Oregon, nice to have you here. And he says the signal on 15580 is very weak on the West Coast. VT Radio, Paul AA1SU from Northern Vermont. Nice to have you on board. Getting ready for Field Day. Also, we're going to talk about Field Days next weekend. And actually, it'll be going on as we do the live show. So next weekend, we're going to tune around the Field Day and see what stations we can hear. So that's going to be pretty cool. Bowmans says, any people across the Atlantic using Alinco DXR8? There must be. It's been a pretty popular radio, so there must be for sure. I almost add some Alinco radios at some point. Matt, tuned to Radio Exterior España 17855, VOA 15580 isn't strong. Currently using only the MLA30 for receive. I'm not putting my ham antennas back up until I get my station moved over to the other side of the house. So no problem. Jeffrey Crop, nice to have you on board. Can I purchase a Paul the card to send to me in New Hampshire? Yeah, you know what? If you want one, we'll arrange that. You don't even have to purchase it. We'll just arrange that, no problem. W5KY, nice to have you on board. And nice to have you here from Houston, Texas. Andy New, nice to have you here from Bristol, UK. M7CUN. We have Jim, nice to have you here, gearing up for the field day also. Douglas, nice to have you on board. KD2WHC. Mr. T, do you think AM and shortwave radio is dying slowly? I don't think it's dying. I think it's reorganizing itself. I think there will be AM radio stations in 100 years, like there will be shortwave stations in 100 years. It's just that your reorganization will go towards, for example, on AM, a lot less maybe local small station and a lot of big gun powerhouses. It could be the other way around. The big gun powerhouses going away and just very localized AM stations also. But there will definitely be some stations around. It'll be different. It'll be quieter, that's for sure. For shortwave, the shortwave is always shifting towards where it's needed because that's what shortwave is all about. So shortwave right now is focused where? Towards Middle East, Asia, Africa, and even in Europe. You guys still have your fair share of shortwave broadcasts. It's going where it's needed because people have difficult access to trusted news and content. Justin Partridge, waving a hand to you from the state of Virginia. Got my shortwave radio antenna on top of a tree and listen to shortwave radio right now. It's booming. Cool. Thank you very much. Keegan DXer, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. MDK2, I was glad that 6 meter wasn't active after I messed up last week and didn't take my entire rig to Cortez, Colorado. I could monitor on my listening station and there was nothing exotic when it was open. Yeah, it was very, very quiet. It says I would have missed a lot thanks to my oversight if it were really hopping. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much because it's still early in the season, but I'm surprised that there's no more 6 meter opening than there is right now. It's kind of weird. So I don't know. We'll see. I was wondering, I had an idea about something. I was thinking about how maybe what's happening is is would it be possible that the high solar activity could mess up sporadic ESCAP also? I don't know. It's kind of, but I'm looking at the clusters, and what I noticed is that Europe is every day. It's like there's tons of it going on, even to the south of the U.S. towards Caribbean, South America. I'm amazed when I see all of that. It seems it's just not reaching all the way up to us. But then again, we're gonna have a hot spell next week, and I know that hot weather fronts, thunderstorms, all of that together kind of mix into maybe help. So I'm hoping that with the hot weather of next week, maybe we could have a 6 meter opening with Sportic Escape. And I want to try to get once again some FMDX. If you guys remember last year, I was so surprised. I was listening to a station on FM, and for a brief moment, some other station overpowered what I was listening to, and it intrigued me. And I started tuning around, and that's when I got that station out of Florida with some Spanish programming on my little portable radio, and it was like, wow, okay. And it lasted maybe I don't know, 20 minutes to half an hour, and then it faded away. But it was my first real FM DX with Sportic Escape, and it kind of sparked an interest in what I don't really do. It's like AM radio DXing. I don't do a lot of it, but I know that there could be some really interesting stuff in there. What else do we have? B Pagalbino Reto. Good evening. Nice to have you here, Unicycler and Shortwave listener here. Nice to have you here from Lithuania. Cool. Mickey Delmage, nice to have you on board. Bonjour, 80s rockstar. Man. I'll tell you what's that all about. What else do we have? Richard Wagner, RW9301 SWL, picked up an ATS 25 Max on Amazon for 131. Figure it's safer to order from Amazon than Ali. Then how do you return it? Also got 2-year warranty. Well, it's a fun device to play with. I think you're gonna like it. I think it's a fun little device to play with, honestly. Jeff King, nice to have you here from Jacksonville, Florida. Kate Kennedy, what channels do you recommend? And listening, because no, shortwave is a mix of all sorts of things. So Justin Partridge, 1985 Shooting Star, State of Virginia, just CB Radio live on YouTube. Fantastic job. Hope you're having a great day. Have a great day too. Greg is in Franklin, Wisconsin. Nice to have you here. And it's going to be hot soon. So what else we have? Neil Rigby from Nottingham, UK. Nice to have you here. SM, nice to have you on board. How do I hook up a MLA30 Plus on a transceiver with the mic off and for listening only? Well, all you'll need to do is get an adapter. The MLA30 Plus cable is an SMA male cable. So what you'll need is a SMA female connector to, if it's a standard transceiver like the Yaesu or any big transceiver, Uh, you'll need that to a PL259 connector. So I've seen some on Amazon. I've seen some on eBay uh, already made, and that's what you'll probably need. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your tip. Nice, much appreciated. Just gonna try to find out where I was. John Gel has my sentiments are the same in that both AM and shortwave are reorganizing indeed. Yeah, there will be less stations, that's for sure. But what's going to be there is going to be there for a long time, and we'll focus on specific items and specific things. So yeah, I do think AM will still be there in the AM radio in 100 years. Like I said, I'll be reorganized though. It's going to be different. Maze Man, nice to have you here from New Hampshire. Um, Rex, nice to have you here. Great content. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much. KC5AGO. Tristan, nice to have you here from Newfoundland. We have Matt says when it comes to my 6-meter FT8 logs, I've got USA, Canada, Mexico, 4 nations, and still need Hawaii and Alaska for the XCC and states. So and I don't even have Cuba and FT8 on that band. Yeah, before I was a ham, I got Brazil, I got Chile, I got a few from South America. It was pretty amazing. Since I'm a ham and now that I'm all hooked up to do it, it hasn't been that great right now. It's mostly, I think I got in Mexico and I got maybe a handful of US states. The Win 1960, nice to have you here. Dean, KQ4ADJ, nice to have you here from Central Georgia. M Stacks from Berkeley, California. Michael, nice to have you here from the Down Under, Australia, in the VK3 land. Keegan Parkinson, nice to have you on board from Kansas. Nice to have you here, Keegan. Shortwave Archive Sunday was the first time I tried FM E-Skip and got 4 different stations on 93.7. 93.7. I was so surprised when I received WFAB in South Carolina from Colorado. Oh, yeah, when it's open, it's great. Honestly, when it's open, it's absolutely great. Terrence, nice to have you here, KD2ANN. And thank you, Maze Man, for your tip. Much appreciated. It goes, by the way, guys, to the radio fund. There is a radio coming this week, a small portable. So there will be a review of a new little portable that I saw was decently priced. And I had there was a special on Tuesday or Thursday, I think, with a coupon on Amazon. So it had $10 off if I purchased it. It looks interesting. It looks big when I look at how the size it is when I see it next to people holding it. So it's an AM, FM, shortwave radio. The standard radios that we see all the time. So I'm going to actually I have my tablet here. I'm going to show you guys what I am actually going to receive. My next big purchase will probably become I'll try to check me for a Belka. I know a lot of you guys want to have me test the Belka. There you go. I'm just going to show you guys what is coming. This is the radio that I am receiving this week. There we go. And my orders is here. So it's a portable AM FM shortwave radio. And this is what it looks like. Of course, with MP3 player. What made me purchase it is also the coverage from 3 to 23 megahertz. So this is what's coming. Looks nice. So I think this is going to be interesting to look at. And it says AM, FM, eye sensitivity for band receiver. It even has, this is also something that appealed to me, what looks like a signal level indicator, as you see here in the display with kind of LEDs. So that looks interesting. When you look at the picture, look at the size of the radio. If this picture was done with um, the right angle for viewing the size, it doesn't look to be too small. So it has extra long antenna apparently. So that's gonna be interesting. I don't know. It has an AC power adapter and uses 4D batteries. I think that also attests to its size because if it uses 4D cells, that means it has to be big enough for the D cells to get in, that for sure. So, anyways, I'm supposed to receive that on Tuesday. I'll be talking about it at the same time, for sure. Um, What else do we have? John Beckham, Radio Spain on 17855. Been coming in very strong here in Northeast Florida as late afternoons. I wonder what wattage in power are their transmitters. They are rated, I believe, at 250 kilowatts, if I'm not mistaken. That's a 250 kilowatt that they are using there. But, they have a great transmitter site there in Spain and it is truly one of the stations that comes in really well, for sure. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And 6RLS, are you doing any ARRL field day hamming next weekend? Nice to have you here from San Francisco Bay Area. Um, the um, the thing about that is I haven't actually done any contesting yet, but I do want to do it. So basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to check out the possibility of eventually one that I would start with that I'd like to do maybe is a Canada Day contest. I wanted to do it last year, didn't really do it. I kind of like to do it this year. It would be fun, but it's also getting the time, having all the time necessary to participate. But eventually, I'll do it. And field day would be one that I would like to do because of this. This is kind of cool to see all the all the activity and how you have to set up for the field day and everything. Definitely something I would like to do. That's for sure. Greg says I should show all my radios. Yeah, we're gonna do it soon. We're gonna do it. Mr. T, any news about the Eton Elite Executive HD? I'm mad about HD. Nope, nothing at all. Nothing at all. So, what else do we have? King of the Xer, I'm wondering if this is legit. I heard about someone with a YouTube channel using my dad's call sign, W9JF, as an impersonator. Well, it's not illegal. You're not allowed to use somebody else's call sign. I find it interesting. So just going to tell you guys, there's going to be an ad in 50 seconds. What I'm going to do while that ad, I'm going to leave like a minute before I continue, so you guys don't miss any content. I've set it up so that I know when the ads are going to play for some of you. So I know that in 37 seconds are going to be ads. I'll be just tuning around a little bit for a minute or two, and I'll come back to what I was saying, so you guys don't miss out on what I'm saying. But no, it's illegal, but I've seen a lot, and I'm not alone. There's a lot of hams that I've talked with, and they're like, "Do you get these ham call signs that are not showing up in any search?" And I get quite a few of them, and I find that quite mysterious that it's happening. So as they're coming up, we'll be back in a minute or two. I'm just gonna check out Spain.
Qué bonito está el partido. Ahora sí, cada vez más roto. ¿Ah? Hablando de básquet, tenemos final y ya sabemos quién va a disputar mañana ante Valencia en la final.
Definitely a really, really, really good signal from Spain on 17.855. Pretty strong. So a pretty good signal from Spain, 17.855, definitely. So yeah, it is not illegal, and it probably happens more than we think. Actually, all the info's out there. I'm pretty sure some people, unlicensed people, sometimes maybe are doing contacts with call signs that are not theirs, or I suspect a lot are using call signs that are not assigned, and they make contacts. You know, who's gonna know really unless you start searching? But I'm sure there are some out there. Not that many, but enough to notice. VT Radio 17855 strong in Vermont. Yeah, they're all DSP based. They're Archer's Crafter's Kitchen. Nobody makes analog anymore at all. So basically, this is a DSP radio for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see. Chastang, nice to have you on board from Louisville, Kentucky. We have. Let's go down here. So, oh yeah. He's impersonating. Yeah, absolutely. What we could do is do this and do this. I think this is a fake guy that we're gonna remove. Here we go. Gone. Okay. What else do we have? Robert Cross. Will long wave staying good for a long or more time? Long wave is different. Um, I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what what it goes and. But long wave is long wave going to live? That is a little different. Long wave is more of a. I don't know. Long wave is a tough one. Um, would long wave stations be there? Long wave is a tougher sell because um, probably a lot of radios don't come with long wave default much, except for more expensive receivers. And we have um, we have probably more chance of AM staying alive than long wave, that's for sure. And the extensive antennas needed for long wave, what's the biggest problem of a lot of the stations? The land required for all the antennas is getting so pricey that they decide they're going to simply um, they're going to simply sell the land for the cash and just shut down. And I know a lot of the AM stations, there's some are for sale, and I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to grab them. John Beckham, new AM FM shortwave portable radio runs on four C. Oh, C. Sorry, I said D. I think it's C. Looks very nice. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of an interesting, and I like the range. If the range would have been if the range would have been, the narrower range of a lot of the portables, because a lot of them for like 6 to 18. Um, I would not have purchased it. But seeing that it goes from 3 to 23, that kind of made me, yeah, okay, you know what, this is different. I'm gonna take it. Matt, are you going to participate in RAC Canada Day contest? I would like to. I'm not sure yet because once again, time is a big problem. But I still got a couple of weeks to to go. So VT, you could do field day from home. Your exchange would be 1 DQC. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of not minded ready yet, so I'm gonna check it out. Radio Kid, nice to have you here from Washington D.C. suburbs. DX Radio, nice to have you here. I'm looking to buying an ICOM 8600 from eBay, but from Japan. Do you think it would be much different from a North American model? I live 1 hour and a half from you. I would lend it to you for a week. Um, I would, I would not purchase it for. I would not purchase it from eBay. Honestly, I would not purchase a radio like that from eBay. Um, what you the difference? Okay, honestly, the difference from, so if you buy it in the U.S. from a known reseller like ham radio outlet or any other dealer, um, you're simply going to have the part of the old cell band and the old analog phone band, um, for the purpose that it's illegal because by law, but there's nothing there anymore really. So you don't miss out in buying it from the US is fine. You know, there is a possibility because I know it happened. It would have to be checked. I've heard that if you purchase one that is not locked, there could be a possibility that it could be stopped at the border and sent back because it technically is illegal to have the totally open one. Like here in Canada, if you would buy it from Radio World, it would be probably they call it the government version, the one that is unlocked. Um, but honestly, there's not enough difference that it's worth it. It doesn't matter. If you were to buy an 8600, buy it from a local US outlet. Also, it's going to be much easier if something happens and you want to send it back or have it repaired or anything. It's going to be easier to deal with your own the own stores in the US, honestly, or wherever it is. Um, what else do we have? So, anyways, Kagan DXer, I've blocked him. He can't post anymore. What else do we have? I kind of didn't. I didn't. It's like it didn't pop up to my mind immediately when he got in, and then I started thinking, "Whoa, wait a minute, Keegan Parkinson, something's wrong here." So, some idiot. Um, Richard Wagner, 17855, coming in great in Northeast Illinois. John Beckham says the Angrangda HRD 701 small military looking radio as of late piqued my curiosity. Yeah, it looks interesting. It's too expensive here in Canada. Um I haven't seen him um in a decent price here in Canada anywhere. Zen Pharaohs, nice to have you here. And following along with a Texan PL 330. Pretty cool. KW 1161, CB channel 38, 30, 27 385, coming in strong today. Um, let's go here. I'm gonna check out this if I hear anything interesting there. Lower sideband 7385. See, very very quiet here. It's just that's been like that all week. Nothing much on the 10 meter and the CB band. Even 15 meters has been on and off good. So Radio Kid, that first analog tune DSP I got was XH Data 219. I don't think I would like the chuffing, but I got used to it. Shortwave Radio Archive 17855 coming in S5 in British Columbia, Canada. Shortwave Radio Archive, yeah, 6030 CFVP is off. It's now gone from shortwave. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about. So if you guys are wanting to DX that station, it is now something from the past. Unfortunately, um, it followed the closure of the station on 1060. So it's it's kind of sad to see that I've never heard it here. Never was able. Somebody asked me if I had received CFVP Calgary, and I said no. It's never been here. I've never had it, and maybe I could if I would have woken up early in the morning. But then you got to wake up early enough that Radio Marti isn't on 6030. So I've never had a chance. John, Tampa, Florida. Nice to have you here. Thomas in the UK, nice to have you here. G6TKV. Ray Boyle, how much is the new radio? With the $10 off, it came to 33 Canadian dollars, which is affordable. So, and like I said, all the donations that are sent are going to radio funds. So I buy radios with them so that I can review them and all of that. Sometimes there's one of those radios that kind of piques my curiosity and I just purchase it. Jean Arash, did we ever have long wave stations in Canada? If not, why? Europe has a lot of them. Nope, it's never been a thing in North America to have long wave. Here it stayed for, all sorts of utility type stations, some non directional beacons for airports, stuff like that. There's a couple of marine weather stations above at the like it's not even long wave, it's more in the medium wave range just below the AM broadcast band. Um, it's never been really much of a thing here, and I don't know why. It's one of those things that for some reason caught on in Europe and Africa, the Middle East. Never really had anything here. Here we never had any long wave stations from what I know. So what else do we have? Bowman's talking about long wave. Does anyone listen to shipping forecasts on Radio 4 198 kilohertz? Matt says, I don't think long wave was ever used much in North America for broadcast radio. Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was ever. The PBRSTG, nice to have you here from the Green Mountains of Vermont. Propagation amazing here in the UK today. This masses of shortwave stations. Cool. Shortwave, has anyone heard about Denmark closing at the end of the year? Yep, Denmark. We talked about it on the International Radio Report show that we have in CKUT last week, I think. Denmark is leaving December 31st. So another long wave will be gone there. John Beckham says, yes, the overall signal quality of Radio Spain reminds me of the old days of shortwave radio. when we had several loud and clear broadcasts. Indeed, that goes to show that what makes the signals weaker is not propagation. Is even when propagation, when we were at the low end of the solar cycle, Spain was always giving us a great, great, um, and it's kind of interesting to see that you know it it comes in when they are directing stuff to us. So, anyways, let me block somebody else here because these idiots are there. Here we go. Another idiot gone. Goodbye, idiot. K6YYL, nice to have you here, Ham Radio Lady from California. And what else do we have? So, yeah, the 243 kilohertz is going at December 31st. Trevor, 15185, Voice of America Music. I think the voice may be in French. The signal quality isn't that great. Um, Terrence, nice to have you here. And so Matt is sharing is one and only copy of CFVP 6030. Shortwave Radio Archive got his EQSL. Pretty cool. At least you got that to remember. Yeah, but you're going to be hit with the taxes. So if you buy it on eBay, it's going to arrive to you, and you're going to have to pay $300 or $400 in taxes. So it's going to rise up to about 2,800. You gotta calculate. It's going to arrive at 2,800, roughly total. It's still less expensive, but I don't know. If something goes wrong, I don't know what seller also is. Who's selling it from Japan. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd have a hard time taking that chance. It's up to you, but so yeah, Radio Marti on 6030. That's for sure. Al, nice to have you on board from Westport, Massachusetts. Um, What else do we have? John, Tampa, Florida, saving my pennies for the Icon my CR 8600. So cool. Rex says, I know that public station WLO located in Mobile, Alabama is back on the air after a few years of being out the air. Copied several broadcasts on 8788 this past week. Yeah, I got a few received here too in Montreal. So Daniel, nice to have you here. The best propagation not the best in southern Idaho today. Yeah, but midday summer, remember, is not that great. So as the day will go on and it'll be late afternoon and evening, it shouldn't be, if there's nothing too bad happening with the sun in our geomagnetic field, shouldn't be too bad. John, make him remember the days of quadraphonic high fidelity versus regular 2-channel stereo. Radio Shack had a few realistic quad receivers, but the technology seems to have disappeared. Wonder why. Yeah, it's like, that's like AM stereo kind of disappeared with it's all the ideas that were there and started, and there were never really that many receivers that did all of that. I think that would probably count for one of the problems. It's like DRM. DRM already isn't that great, but there was never really any somewhat inexpensive DRM receivers that were easy to find and to get. So how do you want to push a technology when no radio's out there? HD radio, Yesterday I was at an event. I'm going to talk about it here. So I yesterday I got to there's a local station here which is FM 103.3, and they are in Longueuil, just on the southeast shore of Montreal. And I listen to them because on a Friday night they have an 80s music show called Flashback 80s or Flashback 80. So they had their 10th anniversary show, and I've been a big fan of that show for the last 3 years, roughly. And I've talked about it here a few times. And I like the fact that there's interaction. There's a Facebook group where people just say hi to each other, and it's like the good old days. They say the names of everybody listening on live, and they take requests, and they focus on most of the time. They focus on a specific year. So they're going to say like, oh, next Friday we're going to focus on 1981, and they focus on the date too. It's like when they do the top 10 songs, it's the top 10 of the week of the month of 1981 or so on. So, anyways, I've been having a lot of fun listening to that. And they had a 10th anniversary show yesterday. And about a month ago, they said that they would invite 10 people. So they asked if we wanted to join to call them up or let them know we'd be interested. So I gave my name. And 2 weeks ago, they announced the winners. And I was part of one of the 10 winners, and so I was the proud guy going with the other winners to the station yesterday. It was a lot of fun, and I just really really enjoyed myself tremendously. It was great to be there. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what it looked like. So this is a group photo of all of us winners at the station. Now you can see myself. I'm just right here. This is actually one of the whoops. Go back. So here we have one of the DJs actually is right here, and another picture. This is a picture of the studio and them being live in the studio. So this is very very nice. So they were actually doing a show now. This is live in studio from FM 103.3. It was really, really cool. We had pizza, we had some drinks. They were tremendous. I got a mug from the show, which was really cool. So, anyways, it was a lot of fun. Participated in that yesterday, but and I got interviewed at one point, and one of the questions was how I found the show. And the show that I found it is, if you guys remember, when I purchased my HD radio, the CNG and HD radio, I made it. I did a scan of all the HD stations, and 103.3 is one of the rare HD stations that are in the Montreal area. So when I scanned, it stopped there, and there was a song that I liked that was playing, so I just stayed there. And at the end of the song, they announced the show, saying there was a flashback '80s show, and that they were every Friday night, you know, doing '80s. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I started listening after that, and but it was a lot of fun. I do probably look a little tired because it ended at with a little bit of alcohol, and it ended at like I came home, it was like 2 in the morning, something like that. So, but it was a tremendous honor to be there. These guys are great. They are so good at making everybody feel comfortable in the studio and there at all. It was just great to see them also live. So I was one of the lucky winners last night. It was a lot of fun, and I really really enjoyed myself. So this is pretty cool, and it's a radio experience that I found really really nice. And I surprised him because I told him that I also did the International Radio Report, co-hosting and co-producing with Sheldon Harvey. So and they learned that, so they asked me about it, and they even gave a plug to the show from Sunday mornings at 10:30. So it was really a lot of fun. The winners, everybody was just super. I mean, a great gang of people. Just, I mean, it was a perfect crowd. It was just amazing. So really a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun yesterday. Definitely. So that was my little Friday night getaway yesterday, and it was really really nice. Um, so what else do we have? Yeah, David Conte. Yeah, yeah. When Radio Marti, sometimes they don't switch. Cuba doesn't switch off the jammer. So yeah, sometimes even when they're off, you have the jamming. Actually, every frequency of Radio Marti, very often Radio Marti is off, and you got jamming, jamming, jamming. So Shortwave Radio Archive says there's a lot of pirate activity last night. 8 broadcasts, so that's good. We're getting close to some interesting holidays. Here's going to be Canada Day. You guys going to be the 4th of July. There's going to be an increase in pirate radio stations with these holidays. Rotten Animals says Radio World also repairs radios. Welcome back, Keegan. Bowman's odd question. What frequency did Titanic transmit on when it was sinking? 500 kilohertz? I believe it was 500 kilohertz. Back in the day, we're at the beginning of the radio. We're at the beginning of the radio era. Transmitters aren't really going very high yet in frequency. So it's probably 500 kilohertz that the Titanic transmitted its last CQD call, because back then it was CQD and not SOS like it is today. But a lot of there was an article somewhere that I've read where they were saying that a lot of amateurs had actually come across the signal on both sides of the Atlantic, and of course other boats. Back then, it was not something that ships did. Most of the ships did not yet have either radios or monitor 500 kilohertz for traffic. So a lot of boats that were in the vicinity there didn't even have anything to hear, and a lot of them had shut down. So for the night, for example, the radio guy went to sleep, so there was no monitoring. There's a few boats that did hear it. The Carpathia, it's called, I think is the name of the boat. There's a few boats, but apparently there could have been one other boat that they switched off the receive because the radio guy went to bed. That apparently was closer, and if they had heard the CQD, maybe they could have saved more people. But we're in the early days where it's still not something that we're accustomed to, for sure. Outers, Autocrafter's Kitchen, latest sunset of the year. I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, we're in those. Days of. We're in those days of long, long days of radio for radio also. So it's summer, definitely summer. Long days means midday is often not the best. It's more of a evening and night propagation that's pretty good. With a higher solar activity, also the high frequencies are great, like Radio New Zealand 15720. But it's definitely that part. We're in summer propagation now. Matt says one thing I enjoyed about my trip last weekend is there was radio noise, quiet location, not 100% free noise, but much lower. I really would have enjoyed using my G5 RV. Yeah, I get to. When we go to a place that's so quiet, it's like, oh man, I want to bring. It would be fun to have all of my stuff that I have, and bring it along. Definitely. Shortwave Radio Archive. I have one quadraphonic record in my collection, but no decoder. John Beckham. I will always love the music of the '80s. Indeed, synth pop. What else do we have? Penny C, nice to have you on board. We have let me just go down here. Lost my spot. Here we go. Sheila, nice to have you on board, Sheila. We're going to take another pause. I know that there's an ad coming in 8 seconds. So I'll do a little bit of tuning around, give you guys the time to go through the ad before I continue the content. See you after. Not super strong, but our friend, the Cuban number lady, is on 14375. 14, what the hell? A big bus in reverse on the street. Okay. 14375 is our Cuban number lady is on. It's not very strong here, but I just heard the numbers given with the digital hash that goes with it. Jim Gordon, nice to have you here from a very warm for a change Scotland. I hope you are well. Conditions have been rather poor on shortwave up here, but it is midsummer. Yeah, it depends on the activity. This week we had unsettled conditions that made it kind of not the best, but mostly evening and night has been amazing. A lot of it has been amazing. It's just listening at the right time on the right frequencies. Trevor likes is Sanjay HDR 15. There are a lot of HDFM stations and a few HDAM stations. The only downside is that there's no battery backup in case there's a power outage or if you accidentally unplug it. Um, what else do we have? Penny C, what time is the 80s radio show on 103.3? I just joined late. The radio show is UTC time. The radio show goes from 2200 hours UTC up to 02 hours UTC. It's a 4 hour show. And they have, it's a fun show. It's in French because it's a French language station here. And it's a community radio station actually out in Longueuil. So if you guys ever want to listen to what it sounds like, it's kind of cool. They have a Facebook group that's kind of cool also. A lot of interaction, a lot of fun. You'll often hear my name on the show. I'm one of those big fans that just like, says hi every time. So it's kind of cool. So what else do we have? Shortwave archive. I found someone on YouTube who had uploaded a bunch of shortwave recordings from 1982. It's amazing to see how many stations on the air back then, including 13 and 11 meter band scans. Yep, definitely. Forget Your Life says 13 Colonies event, July 1st to 7th. So that's one thing coming up. Chastang, sounds like you had a good time, Jill. Sounds like a fun little trip. Oh, it was great. It was great. RJ's Crafters, Jill, is it a good time of the year to stay up late and try to hear Radio New Zealand? Definitely. 15720 is booming in. It's an easy listen, even on a portable. You should definitely. John Beckham, I would imagine 5.1 broadcasts would sound really good overall. Yeah, I would guess. Jay Watterson 69, nice to have you here. RJ Dakota says I was thinking it was 515 or 532. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would need to look at more in detail. I think 500 kilohertz was officially a international rescue and distress frequency already back at that time. But it'd definitely be interesting to dig in and see a little more. VA3JPX, nice to have you here. René Charbonnier, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. John Beckham, shortware, okay. Terrence, Californian, was 10 miles away from the Titanic. Yeah. But I think, I don't know if that's the boat, but there was one of the ships at sea. The radio guy had gone to bed for the night. Storms, radios, and cats. There's so much smoke here in Kentucky that our sunsets look diffused. Yeah, we had that a lot in the last few weeks here too from the fires up here in Canada. What else do we have? The Shores, California. Okay. Paul Thomas, any thoughts on putting an MLA 30 loop antenna in an attic? I know that some are doing it and they seem to have a very, very good performance out of it. So you definitely should try it. It could help out, especially if it's noisy where you are. Welcome back, Dwayne. What else do we have? Jim Gordon, is the ANT 20 Plus worth buying? There is one for sale in Dundee. I don't know. Robert Osborne, nice to have you here from Niagara Falls. Ron C, bonjour et bienvenue. Nice to have you here from Saint-Hubert, Quebec. Loves is 10 Tech SP325. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. V3JPX, the ladies being heard in Ottawa. What else do we have? Gustavo Hernandez, nice to have you here. Does anyone know the frequencies for the BBC Midwinter Antarctic broadcast? It's not there. It's not officially announced yet. I'm waiting to edit the show for tomorrow because I'm editing the International Radio Report show tonight for two reasons. Because I didn't have time last night, but also because I'm waiting in case the frequencies would appear. I am going to edit. There were some frequencies that were used for testing, but we don't know yet the official frequencies. It will be on June the 21st at 21:32 UTC start. So it's a half-hour show. And I know that a couple of frequencies were in like 13 megahertz, 22-meter band. I think there are going to be some frequencies that are going to be possibly not bad here in North America. So, anyways, we'll be posting all of that on. I'll post the frequencies as soon as we have the frequencies of the Midwinter Antarctic broadcast. We'll be posting them on the Facebook group. So that's on June 21st. It's the annual BBC Midwinter Antarctic broadcast to the 37 people or something like that that are in the Antarctic base. And it's going to be, of course, over the BBC on shortwave. So we're waiting for the frequencies. We're waiting to know which ones will officially be announced for the broadcast. What else do we have? Anything else? Penny Citangel, I speak and understand French, so that's great. I love 80s music. Well, you're going to love it. Join the Facebook group. They're going to say hi to you. It's pretty cool. I have a lot of people actually listening to the show that are on my Facebook friends because I post on my personal Facebook page. I always post, like 15 minutes before the show starts. It's, it's time for the 80s show. So, I know a lot of people are listening in because of that. Storm radios and cats. While my Cobra 148 GTL is out for repair, I purchased a CB Pro 27 AM/FM mobile CB radio. Neat little rig, slightly larger than a pack of cigarettes. Cool. Have fun with that. Dwayne 17855 booming in. Rotten animal. One day the sky was orange in Toronto. Massive fires to blame. Yep. It even smelled that we had even a smog warning this week. You even smelled it pretty well last week too. You could smell the burning wood. It's interesting talking about old radio. My late father used a crystal radio to listen to jazz music come from the USA in World War II. Pretty cool. Roberto Rojas, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. RJ Dakota, a few days ago, found something at 12 UTC and was on 25,900. Yeah, it's the BBC. The BBC has two transmissions and 11-meter band this summer. If I look at the schedules here, EIBI, let's go here. Frequency 259. So the BBC, you can hear 25,900 from 12 to 12:30 in French language. It comes from the Madagascar relay towards Central Africa. I need to get up early to listen to this one. I have to make a recording. This will be just fantastic. It's been such a long time since I've heard a shortwave broadcaster on the 11-meter band. You can also hear on 25,700 from 14 to 14:30 Monday to Friday, the BBC in Hausa language to West Africa. But this one's transmitted from the Vatican State transmitter site. But I definitely need to try the BBC French from Madagascar 25,900. So 12 UTC is what 8 a.m. here. Need to wake up I need to wake up early one day and check it out. What else do we have? John Beckham, I can remember as a young boy listening to shortwave from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, and all of those English language shortwave broadcasts took place. Yeah. You guys want to hear? You know what? How about that? Because I don't have a lot of stuff to say or do today. I was thinking of one day to do that. Maybe it could be fun. How about we go a little bit back in time? I'm going to dig up, I've got a shortwave frequency and time list of broadcasts on shortwave that dates back to 1981. I got the full 24 hours of schedules of I think it's just English language broadcasts. So maybe we could go through that English language broadcast and choose the some of the broadcasts, and maybe I can play some audio that not necessarily from the time, but from some of these stations. Maybe we could do a little retro listening of shortwave today, if you guys feel like it. Trevor. Let me just yeah, I'll make a video. I do it every year usually. When we know about it, I will okay, I'm gonna check it out, RJ Dakota. I'll check out your video on your YouTube channel. John Beckham, Radio Prague. So hey, I'm down here. So yeah, there's a lot of the old stuff, the old broadcasts from schedules. Let me check it out here. I'm gonna do something. Go here. We can even use, EIBI Space even has the schedules for what's the latest schedules. I think it's like 2001 or something. They have schedules because if you go in the archives on the EIBI Space, when you go into the schedules, there's an archive. You can click the archive and you can see all. If you wonder, all the stations that have gone, you can check all the archives from every year for the broadcast schedules and see what stations were on that are not there anymore. It's pretty For some of you, it might make you cry, but it's pretty amazing. Shortwave radio schedules 1980 or something. I'm just looking at this. I'm trying to find if I could find the schedules that I was looking at. Anyways, like what I could do is just we're going to go to World Radio History, and I'm going to pull one of the magazines from the 80s and check the schedules. So let's take Popular Communications magazine. So HQ, PQ, radio, Popular Communications. Let's search for that. I think it'll be very interesting to we'll look at the schedules and we'll see what we had. So let me just search for the X-Logs Radio Club, Shortwave and Ham. Maybe this could be Shortwave Amateur and DX Listening. Okay. Popular Communications. So we'll take Popular Communications of January 1985. How about that? I'm going to take that one. And this was the cover of Popular Communications, January 1985. The price of the magazine, $1.95. Look at that. If you guys want them, remember there's a wonderful website, worldradiohistory.com. So, World Radio History. Radiohistory.com. You have all of the old Popular Communications. You have all the old Monitoring Times. You got old 73 magazines. You got tons of radio stuff. I get a blast. There's tons of magazines from the 40s and the 50s, radio and electronics of everything. It's a wonderful resource to go and check out. I download stuff on my tablet and just am amazed and read that. So, let's see here. There's an ad for a radio. Look at that, guys. They're talking about the Kenwood R11. That's my Toshiba RF11 that I have. Look at that. And they're, of course, showing up the flagship of the time, which is the R2000, Kenwood R2000. So, pretty crazy. So, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the schedules on the pages here. And we're going to check out what's on the air in 1985. And we're going to actually find some clips. Let's see what we can listen to from that. So I'm just going to try to find schedules. Must be here somewhere. And unless they didn't have schedules in 85, but I think they always did. Trying to find a page here with the schedules. Maybe I should have looked at the. Actually, look, it's interesting. I don't seem to have schedules here. Were there schedules always on the Popcom? I remember there were. If I look at the new products, okay. Telephones, business, advertising. Listening for D, product, and mysterious. Look at that. There's no the departments. Beaming in, mailbag, radar, survival. Listening post. And there's so much stuff. I look at some of their content, and it's like, wow. Let's go here. The listening post. Yeah, there's logs of stations. Oh, look at that. And we could use the logs of the stations of people what they're listening to. Listening reports. Let's go through the listening reports of 1985. I think it's going to be interesting. What else do we have? Just going to go here. John Mickham, Radio Moscow, Radio Sweden, and on. Bowman's, what do other people think about old time radio? I mean, World War II, when people used to sit by and their vol sets and pick up news. It was an interesting time. I remember reading an article where television messed up the habits of a lot of people that enjoyed radio because for the first time you had images. So instead of sitting down next to the radio, people would sit down in front of the TV. And it was kind of interesting that the article was kind of almost saying that TV was almost the devil type technology at the time. Yeah, I used to. What I liked back in the day is that magazines were so inexpensive. You could actually go and pick up 5 or 6 magazines, and it was affordable. Today, at the price of the magazines, it's like you get 2, and it's like, whoa, it's already expensive. I got enough. No wonder the electronic magazines are taking over. It's less expensive. I look at my subscription of Sky and Telescope, which cost me so much less with the digital subscription than having a paper one. And I actually enjoy reading mags on my tablet. So it's kind of cool. Ray Boyle, is your Sunday morning show on the internet? Yep, on ckut.ca. If you go to ckut.ca, it is streamed from there. If you have an app on a device, if you have a smart speaker, you can ask for streaming of CKUT 90.3 FM. It will actually play. It's from 14:30 to 15 hours UTC. And in case you guys don't know, we do have our show on YouTube. So if you want to check out the International Radio Report, simply go to find my here we go at IRR. This is going to bring you to the show's YouTube channel. You can subscribe there, and we have the show every week. So usually within about an hour after the show aired on CKUT 90.3 FM, I put the YouTube up. YouTube has an added bonus because it's a video platform. I will put pictures of that's related to the stories that we talk about, so that you could see maybe the personalities we're talking about, or like tomorrow there's going to be pictures of the different stations gone off the air from the AM perspective with the Bell Media cuts. The Bell Media cuts were really bad. Apparently, they were doing a show, and mid show they just switched it off. It's gone, and people were like apparently completely amazed at the fact that they were just, turned off the air and that's it, and go away. You're not needed anymore. King of DXer says, got FMDX on the 11th from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Montana, South Dakota, Manitoba, Nebraska, North Dakota, Idaho, Saskatchewan. Wow. That is good. That was a good opening. We don't have these here right now. I really wish we did. John Beckham says Radio Prague was one of my favorites back in the day. Brings back memories. Yep. Caleb61 says, just still miss Jonathan Marks' Media Network show on Radio Netherlands. Artist Crafter, the era of pop communication, popcom was when survivalist radio was the next big thing on shortwave. Yeah. John Beckham, Popular Science was great also. Yep. Radio Kid, OMD used a Radio Prague interval signal at the beginning of the Dazzle Ships album. Oh, interesting. John Beckham, I love all of this electronics nostalgia indeed, Jill. I bought my DX300 in 1980, says Richard Wagner. Just saying my mouth was used to water over some of the radios and the ads back then. Yeah, definitely. John Beckham, Popular Communications. How about Radio and TV Experimenter magazine? Yeah. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of these magazines where you had all of these cool electronic circuits that you could build, and they had all the traces so that you could actually make your own. I've never did that. Never. I wish I had done that back in the day. Make my own circuit boards for projects. I wish I would have learned and done that back in the day. I never did. Miguel Molina, nice to have you here. Yeah, they usually were in the middle, but this one doesn't seem to have any schedules. Peter, I just put it up a little up, but it's worldradiohistory.com. Just type worldradiohistory.com and you'll get all of these magazines there. So yeah, what I miss most of the listening back then is the fact that I didn't grasp as a teenager. Maybe I was a little too young. I didn't grasp the importance of what I was living through, the radio, shortwave radio sphere, what I was hearing. And I didn't have the knowledge. And this is why this is great. I wish some guy from Canada would have done a live show that went back in the 80s, because I would have learned a lot from him. And I missed a lot of things I could listen to that I just didn't know existed out there. I mean, I didn't know about pirate radio before, late in the 90s, honestly. And they were there back then. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see that I wish also that I would have had better equipment, but you got to deal with what you have. But if you imagine having, we say it so many times, imagine having an SDR back then, what it would have been like. It's like, wow, it would have been crazy. So, man, pretty amazing, all of this stuff there. Yeah, I had those Radio Shack Crystal radios too. Francis Moore, Jill, as a crystal radio does not use power source, do you need a copper wire long line antenna for it to work? Well, it works on the principle that it actually uses the signals you know, to kind of create enough energy to give you the audio. So the longer the wire, the longer the antenna, usually the better it was. So ads are coming up. Back in a couple. And we are back. There's an Italian ham station. There's a ham station. Italy 4. On 14,275 per sideband. 14,275 per sideband. Pretty strong. A special event station. Papa November Fox. Stuart T, unfortunately. I wanted to try to make the contact, but too late. Oh, guy from Canada. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. I gotta try it. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Guess he might not hear me. I know he's getting a lot of interference. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu Italy. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu Italy. You are 59 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Thank you, and 73. There we go. There we go. So I got a contact with the station. Italy, 4 Papa November Foxtrot. So it's special event station for the Cento Anni dell'Aeronautica Militare. So pretty cool. And there's even a diploma. It says to celebrate the centenary of the establishment of Italian Air Force since 1946, internationally known as ITAF, the ARI, Associazione Radioamatori Italiani, collaboration with General Staff and the Italian Air Force, presents to all radio amateurs and shortwave listeners in the world the 100 Years of the Italian Air Force Award. So I'm part of that. I got the Italian Air Force Award. That's pretty cool. Hey, I'm gonna have to. I want to have this. I want to have that diploma. I want to have that award. I'm gonna check it out. Pretty cool. So here we go. Just gonna enter the details. So it's 37, 20-meter band, 275, 59, 59. Save record. Here we go. So I made a contact with Italy. Pretty good. My ham station isn't bad at all. I'm capable of doing some decent activity there. Can tell you that. So oh, you're the one who told me. Okay, thank you so much, VT Radio. Because I wasn't very strong. He asked me to repeat it, so I probably wasn't very strong. Thanks so much, Paul, for giving me the chance. That's what I like. You know, there was this guy here a couple of weeks ago. There was that station in Indonesia, and that other VE station said, "Hey, listen, there's a Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India," and it gave me the chance to actually make the contact. So it's pretty cool. So it's really nice. So what else? James M. Yeah, so you don't care about giving money to the people that create content that you love? I don't think that's so great. Carol W7 WXV receiving CW on 12808.5. Yeah, that's the KPH station in California, something like that. Let's try 12808.5 if I hear it. Not hearing anything here. So, yep, that's probably KPH. Radio Kid, Alan Wiener and WBCQ has a history of a pirate operator. Then he decided to go legit. Yep, that's how he started. Princess Moore picking up strong in Birmingham, UK. So cool. Mark, nice to have you here from Vancouver. So thanks, Paul, for giving me the chance. Rich Atlanta says, I heard you on 14275 in Atlanta, Georgia. Cool. That's cool. David in Barcelona. Nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. Chess Tank, you should do a official SWL channel award. Oh, that could be interesting. That would be nice. I'd do it as an E award because if there's too many people, it would cost me. It's interesting the postal cost. You know, I understand why a lot of people are not sending in ham radio. You know, QSLs by mail, paper QSLs. Not a lot of them are, because when I see the cost of sending it, you know, here I sent last 2 weeks ago, I sent 4 international, 3 US, and two Canadian stations at pay per QSL, and I it cost me 27 dollars to send. It's dreadfully expensive just to send paper QSLs out. So I still like to do it. So I assume I put a little bit of money next to just do that because I kind of like also receiving some paper QSLs. But boy, it's so becoming expensive, really really crazy. So nice to have you here, David in Barcelona. Yeah, that's an idea. I never thought about that. We could do a. Even can do a live where I'm doing the contacts for the official SWL certificate. Maybe I could arrange some way to do the award and send it to you guys. That could definitely be a fun thing for all of you also, being able, and I could repeat it at different times, different bands, try to give us the chance to as many people as possible to receive my station. But that could be really really cool. Really, really nice. Miguel Molina was also today in Markham Ham 2023 in Barcelona, a R2000 and a FRG 7700. Very good shape for less than 300 euros each. David, nice QSL gel. These days I've been basically living on 10, 6, 4, and 2 meters FT8 and SSB. Huge openings as sporadic events. Yeah, I'm waiting for sporadic E to actually happen here. We don't have that here, Francis Moore. We cannot send. There's no because in I believe in the U.S. there is, and in some cases there are special postcard tariffs for postage. We don't have that in Canada. Anything you send in Canada, you got to pay the fee that it is for sending a standard letter. It's the way it is. So there's no postcard fee, or you don't have that ability. Because I was looking, there's a couple of hams in the US that send me QSLs, and I was looking at how inexpensive it was to send me that QSL. I was like, whoa, I'd like to have something like that. Here we don't have that. Here everything is a standard letter. So there's no, because I would do it if that would be a special special price, less expensive, sending like a postcard. Oh man, I would modify my cards so that they are postcard like and being sent just like that. No envelopes. Stan, nice to have you on board from Oklahoma. We are here in Harrison, Arkansas, for a family reunion and Father's Day weekend. Yep. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, by the way. It is Father's Day weekend. Mark, I received a Russian state time and frequency card. Nice to collect the cards, but my kids love to also collect the postage stamps. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Francis Moore, for the tip. Much appreciated. So, chest tanking would be a popular and fun thing for all of us to do together. Yep. PA3 FAL Fred, not a peep on 6 so far this season. Nice to have you here on Thunder Bay, Ontario, covered in smoke from forest fires. Yeah, I had a few contacts on 6. If I look at here, I'm going to go and check the band. So let me go to my log and choose 6 meters. So what I had recently uh, on 6 meters, the last one I got was June 8th, and I got several on June the 3rd. I've got N9XG, KA0BOJ. I had a few of these stations like K80M, K4UI. Nothing fantastic, but US stations mostly. And I had a little bit on May the 22nd, but it hasn't been really good, honestly. So definitely we need to have um, something. Man, that guy, I'm looking at incoming requests on QRZ.com. There's this guy from Poland constantly sending me a contact for my log, and I never complete the contact. An FT8, you got to complete the contact. I'm not going to log you if we haven't completed the full contact. Come on. Just can't believe. And it's not the first time. I remember the call sign. This guy has at least 4 times. We never completed the contact, but he's still trying to add the log officially, which is no, I'm sorry. We've not completed. I'm not going to add you. You know, I'm pretty sure some people are much more relaxed on those rules, but I follow the rules. Marco Davi, nice to have you here from England, UK. We have Stan on my Galaxy DX 959 CB with Striker SR8 10 magnet mount CB antenna on channel 38 lower Simon. I have guys north in South Carolina and Georgia. Jean Arash, everything is more expensive in Canada just because it is Canada. But there are countries that are worse than us. I've had a few guys tell me from a few European countries the price in euros to send a letter, it's like crazy. Here, I'm going to tell you guys the price of the stamps here. Canada Post price letters. So, personal price of stamps for a standard letter. Standard letter in Canada. It's $1.07 for Canada. Or if we buy a booklet too with a lot of stamps in it, it goes down to 92 cents. And if we go to US prices, for the US prices, standard letter is $1.30. And for international, it is $2.71 to send a letter international. Pretty crazy. Crazy prices. Yeah, it's pretty expensive to here. So it depends on where you go, and it depends on the number of stamps. So if you buy stamps in rolls and you buy a lot of stamps, the price goes down. So up to 30 grams, which is, let me just check it out here. Size of document, postage. There's all sorts of prices here depending on what you send. Buy stamps online. You can buy stamps. This is crazy. So if you buy them in rolls, you get a it's 92 cents in a booklet of 10. It's 92 cents for a standard letter. Yeah, it is. It's 92 cents if you buy a roll of stamps, or $1.10 if you just pay for one stamp. That's the price that I have here on Canada Post. And that's a standard letter. It has to be, under a certain weight. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. but it's 92 cents if you buy a booklet of 10. So I probably should buy booklets of 10. Now, one of the things that is nice about the stamps though is that they don't expire, in the sense that if you buy 100 stamps and you keep them, even if the price goes up, your stamps that you purchase at the lower price are still good. Because before, you had if their new rates was there, you had to apply stamps with the new rates. But the stamps now don't have an amount on them. Here in Canada, the stamps have no amount written on them. They only are, kind of depending on where you send your letters, international, US, or Canada. And they are, um, they don't expire because there's no amount written on them. So if I buy one now at 92 cents, buy 10, it's 92 cents. It goes up to 99 cents. The 92 cents are going to be the same price. They're still going to work. So yeah, permanent stamps. So there's at least that positive thing. You can buy a lot of stamps and use them. Um, Chastank 145 for US for global stamps. Mickey Delmage, if you're mailing to the USA or overseas and the total is $5 for all your letters, no GST, but you have to mail them at the post office at time of purchase. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, At least you can buy your stamps in advance and save money if the prices go up. But it makes it expensive when you think about it to send letters every time. It's crazy. So okay, you guys have them in USA also for forever stamps. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Because you do remember, I still remember doing that in the 80s when I would send out for QSLs. Then I would, like the rates would go up. I remember when I started sending for QSLs in 83, 4, stamps were like 60 cents, 64 cents. And then the prices would go up by like 2 cents. And then I'd be stuck sending letters for QSLs and putting a 64 cents and 2 1 penny, 2 1 cent stamps next to it because they had to put the the extra on it. So it's like at least this fixes that problem. No more 1 cent stamps to for the hikes in prices. That's for sure. Hey, you guys want me to make a couple of more contacts, see what's on the bands? How about that? And you can try and hear me at the same time. Want to do that? Even if you don't, I'm going to do it. But I'm pretty sure you're going to say, yeah, why not? So I'm going to actually bring up the cluster here and see what's on the bands. Any special event stations or anything. I'm going to tune around. So what do we have? So SSB, no digital, SSB only. Let's see what's on. 28480, a Venezuela station. 28480. Let's check it out. Oof, it's very weak. That's going to be a tough one. $14,220. There's Romania. I'm hearing Romania a little bit. checking out if any stations. If you guys are tuning to bands and you hear something, there's a Northern Ireland station, 14172. Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, India. Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, Italy. Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, Italy. Yes, Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, India. Hello, my friend. And yes, you have all the details correct, 73. You are 5 in 5 here in Montreal, Quebec. And my pronunciation of my name is Gilles. It's a French name. And of course, your signal, when looking around, you're actually being live on YouTube. I'm doing contacts and people are watching. So it's nice to have a contact with Northern Ireland. And your signal is good enough for a good copy. So thanks for the contact, my friend. Thank you very much for your signal report. Your range is 5 and 9. You're 5 and 9 here. But there is a lot of QRM by the frequency, and that's causing. But the signal strength, the vast people are actually getting you there. 5 and 9 here in Northern Ireland. Okay, guys, one over. I'm going to roll 2 through here because it's getting 9 minutes. And we need to get to this here. So, from Canada, the world knows the make on black, Victor Echo 2, India, and 73 guys, thank you for that. Thank you for the contact. Nice to have you. Hope to hear you on the band some more, or maybe other bands soon. Thank you so much. Mike, India 0, Tango Lima Golf. This is Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, India 73. There we go. Northern Ireland on 14172. So I gave him a 5 and 5. I got a 5-9 and frequency 14172. And here we go. Save. So this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Another one. So Rich in Atlanta, Georgia, heard my full contact. Pretty cool. And ham radio is indeed a lot of fun. That's for sure. What else do we have? John Beckham, remember the old airmail envelopes? That was a letter writing area. Then you fold it up with the airmail stamps already on the envelope. Yeah, remember when you'd used to buy the envelopes with all the colors on around it. And there's going to be an ad. We're back in a second. So we just complicated. We just completed a contact with Northern Ireland, which is pretty cool. So yeah, remember all of that. Oh man, Chastang back in the 80s, as I recall, letter stamps are like 15 cents and 20 cents. Man, Patrick Fitzpatrick, 10,000 kilometers or more for a couple of dollars. That's not bad. Two Broke Tim remembers when stamps were 4 cents. So youch. That's a long time ago. John Beckham, showing his ham radio skills, indeed. I still remember when I got my ham license, I had a contact with a 80-some-year-old guy in, I think it was South Carolina. And when he learned that I had my ham license for only a month or something when that happened, he told me, well, it doesn't show. I hear you doing the contact. You sound like you've been doing this forever and that you have all the experience. And then I told him, I said, well, I've been listening for 40 years. I kind of picked up a few skills just by listening. That's why we say in ham radio, listen more than you talk. It really is important. A heart icon covering the chat. That's weird. John Luhy, nice to have you on board. I was on 14172. I think I forgot to mention it. Sorry, guys. That's 14172. Danny, Shortwave Radio DX from Yonkers, New York. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? So I guess me and Rich in Atlanta, we have a good path of transmission going to there. Glenn Danzler heard me in South Carolina. Pretty cool. Old man. Chastain is the same age as well. Old man. Yes, we are, basically. Stuart Joseph, nice to have you on board from Maryland. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Francis says, I'm a kid like a kid in a candy store, a candy shop. Yeah. Oh, man. Rex did not hear me on 14172 or MI0 also in Central Texas. David, great QSO. If you could directly feed the receive audio of your rig into the YouTube, that'd be quite nice. Yeah, I'm not doing it for a very simple reason. I'm afraid if I hook up my console to the Yaesu, I will get RF in the console. That's why I'm avoiding that, because the other day I put a long audio cable from the console near that area and immediately noticed it was doing something, was messing up stuff. So I'm going to have to try to check it out. I have to try to check it out and see how I can hook it up and be able to. I guess YouTube is showing the most used emojis on the lower right corner of the chat. That's interesting. I don't see any of that. That is kind of weird. Mr. Squirrel, nice to have you on board from upstate New York. Um, quick emoticon feature. I find it annoying. Okay. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That's weird. I'm trying to find, but okay. Um. So you guys have that. That is so weird. I don't see any of that here. Manreader DXer was watching the F1 qualifying in my backyard. Yeah, pretty much. My nephew was there. My nephew is a big, big Formula One racing fan. He's always there all the days of the event, and definitely happening. Not a very nice day today for that, but tomorrow's going to be a little better, I guess, for the race. So we'll see. So yeah, it's the big thing really in town. We got like two festivals going on. The Formula One racing stuff. I mean, Montreal is at the we were starting the peak of the all of the tourist season and all of the stuff happening. So just saying that crafts me out. She'll call you got ads. Well, I see. It gives me a counter telling me when they're going to be there. So it's like there's going to be an ad. We'll be back after our sponsors. Um, What else do we want? John Beckett, my first shortwave radio was a Monarch AM1 as it was a vacuum tube receiver. Wow. Levy Nathan, nice to have you on board from Israel. 4 Zulu 9, Mike Echo X ray. Artisan Crafters, Gilles, isn't your Yezu known for its very good audio? Oh, yeah, it is. It is definitely pretty good. Definitely. And if you add all the bells and whistles and start playing with everything, definitely. If you click on a heart or any other, Jill will see it right away. Huh, interesting. A floating heart emoji just on the upper right of the chat field. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Might be something new, I guess. I don't see it here, so I don't know. Darren Rogers, nice to have you here from Long Island, New York, KB2AHS. RJ Dakota, heart symbol is on my iPhone, but not on my TV. When you do stuff on the TV directly with YouTube, though, there's a lot of differences. TVs have a lot of things they can show or don't show when that happens. Danny Shortwave says it's kind of like TikTok Hurts. It's supposed to improve the live likes to get promoted on YouTube Live. Okay. What happens? You click on it and it promotes me for some reason? That is so weird. It's blowing bubbles. Okay. Wow, this is so weird. This is so weird. Okay. Go to break for dinner. Perfect, Paul. Have a good one. Um, Danielle Velli says no emojis on PC. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it too. So I don't know. Storms, Raiders, and Cats made the first step towards going solar. 100-watt solar panel, charge controller, cables, and battery. Our radios and a light are going on the solar. Should eliminate some of my noise here too. Yeah, I got to be careful with all the controllers and chargers for this for the with the solar panel. Some people are reporting that it's actually noisier. So just make sure you got the right equipment. That's not too bad. Richard Wagner, could I Bluetooth my radio? Well, I would have to have a Bluetooth audio thing to do it because I can Bluetooth to the console. But The radio itself doesn't have Bluetooth. Tuborg Tim, if the polar caps melt, Montreal will be underwater. Maybe you should buy a boat. Yeah, I've seen something like that. We're very low here in Montreal, so it doesn't take that much of a rise for Montreal to be gone. I can tell you. Um, Trevor, see heart icon on the YouTube mobile app on the lower right. I was using a desktop browser. It was a heart, smile, celebration, and 100% emoji. Okay, slightly transparent. That is weird. YouTube will always have these weird things happening. Crazy. What else do we have? Shortwave radio encounters. Currently in Georgia, where I live, I pick up this station called Radio Marti, but for some reason, the station broadcasts a weird signal in the background, also like a marker. No, it's what you're getting. Shortwave radio encounters is that you're getting Radio Marti, which is a broadcast coming out of Greenville, North Carolina. But what you're hearing that is mixed in with the signal is Cuba jamming it. So what is happening is you're probably hearing Radio Marti and the Cuban jamming mixed in together. So that's what you're hearing. The mixed weird signal is Cuba jamming. And get a kayak. Yeah, like Celine would say. Here kid says maybe Jill can't see the heart icon because YouTube provided insufficient postage to send it to Canada. Oh man. Or maybe I don't see it because I'm the one broadcasting. I don't know. Chance, thanks. And now I'm going to hear you say all the time. Now a word from our sponsors. Yeah, maybe that could be a thing to use a Bluetooth transmitter. Justin says I'm 45, not old yet, but I can see it from here. David, I'd say it should have RF return on the console, but maybe just to be sure, a one-to-one audio transformer could be a good precautionary solution. Yeah, but the console seems to be extremely sensitive to RF because nothing else gets it. There's only the console, and only if I start putting long audio cables on it. So right now, all the audio cables that I had set up that were going in this direction for the radios and the radios here are disconnected for that purpose of not getting RF in it. So David in Barcelona, not seeing the icon in the chat there. Francis Morgan still here, the guy on 14172 in the UK. Yeah, it's sometimes it's weird because you'll be on a Radio Marti and Radio Marti will sign off shortwave radio encounters, and when they sign off, you still hear the jamming going through. Bonjour, Ricky. Nice to have you here, and hope you are well. Also, pretty cool to have you here. Danny Shortwave says, "I believe you can see it too, Joe. I seen it on my last live stream last month. Oh, really? That is interesting. I don't know why it's not there." Joey Jojo, would it be legal for you to do this show over shortwave in Canada? You need a license. You need a license to get your to have a shortwave transmitter and getting it on shortwave. Can it be turned off by me? Let me just check what I have in options. I have moderation, participants. No. I don't see any options to do it. personally. Um, so anyway, we're gonna check it out. Yeah. You want me to choke on everything? Oh, you want me to use chokes on everything? Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe doing something like that, and doing several turns to help out. Because I got, if I want to in the live show, do stuff, and you guys can hear it better. I really need to feed the audio to the console. Um, Shortwave radio encounters. I noticed lately that the ionosphere has been great. I've been picking up radio stations from China, Radio China International, I think was it's called. Yep. Brit Food says YouTube could be doing an A/B testing. That's possible. Maybe some are having it, some are not. That they do that sometimes. Gary 24 fan, nice to have you on board. So still, that station's still coming from Northern Ireland, 14172. What do you have here? Easter Island. I'm not going to hear that. 28,400 Easter Island. You guys are hearing that? 28,400. Not hearing Easter Island. 28,400. That would have been great. Easter Island would have been fantastic. K6YYL, use multiple chokes. It will make a huge difference. Just don't choke on them. Sir Joseph, you suggested that I get a long wire for my transoceanic. I want to use some TV coaxial cable stretched around the house. Should I clip the braid or center wire to or center to the telescopic antenna? Well, if you're using just that and nothing else, then put the braid, because the braid is going to be the antenna. If you have something else at the end for the center connector for a long wire, then you connect the center connector and you ground the braid. But it depends on how you're going to use it. If you use it just that, then it would be just put the braid. Sheila, going to check out the emoji bar on my Android table to see if it's still there. We'll let you know. Danny Shortwave, I must have gave you a few hundred hearts. Oh, God, this is incredible. Okay. Any special station? There's Czech Republic SSTV. AP5, Pakistan on 18155. Pakistan on 18155. 18. I'm hearing Pakistan. Not very strong. You guys, 18155. 8 Alpha Papa 5 Alpha Romeo Sierra. 8P5 ARS. I hear him very weak. I'm hearing him very, very weak. Yeah, no joy here for Easter Island either. You got hearts on your table, Sheila. Radio Kid, my old Grundig S350DL single conversion has started getting images everywhere as it has gotten older. Is this typical as radio age? It didn't used to have so many image problems when I was new. Well, the S350 by design is an image. I don't think it's faulty. I think what's happening is that you're noticing them more because the stations that give them out on that radio are on different frequencies and you see them more. Because the S350 is a single conversion design. I have the S350 here, and it is there are images every 910 kilohertz from strong signals. So um, it's not because it's getting more or because it's getting older. I think it's just you see more because you have more transmissions that you actually notice on the radio because of the frequencies and the strength of the stations where they are. I'm pretty sure it's mostly that makes you see more, not the age, not the fact that it's getting older. So Sheila says no emoji bar on an emoji thing on my tablet. Yeah, sometimes it's also depending on countries. It could be a country thing. Some countries have that on, other countries don't. And that could be something like that also. Kind of interesting here. Okay. What do we have here? There's Delta Papa 7 Delta from Germany on 14270. Go down here. Tune. Just gonna tune for the frequency and went down. That's how you tune, guys. You tune off the frequency and then you go back on it. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. You're also 5'9" in Montreal, Quebec. That was an easy one. That was an easy one. First call, Germany. 5'9", 5'9". 27. 270. Here we go. Save record. It's the HF contest group Schropingerberg DP7D. So Germany. Yeah, that's the problem because my audio cables are very long. I chose them long on purpose so I can, plug in a radio at the other end of the room. And that I know is probably one of the issues. They are so long that they act like antennas. They pick up everything. Shortwave radio encounters. Many stations I pick up in Atlanta are just insane. Sometimes I do pick up Cuba, Chinese radio, WWVH, the Weather Channel, Germany, NHK Japan, and WRMI. So David says, what's worked for me with RF issues on USB connections is rolling the cable all around a FT24031 Torrid at either end of the connections. Maybe it'll work on your audio hookup. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do tests this week. I'm going to get myself some Torrids, and I'm going to do experiments. Pretty good signal from that station. Delta Papa 7 Delta. Let's see what else is there that I could take a chance on. Czech Republic OL100 radio. OL 100 Radio, Czech Radio Club. 100 years of broadcasting in the Czech Republic, in OK land. 14193. Go up a little. 10. Go back down. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. I'm going to try that. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. I don't know if it's going to hear me. So OL 100 Radio from the Czech Republic, 14193, upper sideband. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu Italy. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu Italy. You are 5 and 9 in Montreal, Quebec. And that's how you do it. OL 100 contact. Here we go. So Czech Republic in the house. So here we go. Five and nine. 14193. And it's in the log for 100 years of radio and OK land from the Czech Radio Club. That is pretty cool. So, what else do we have? Chris, G7VEO. Does anyone shortwave multi obby task? I just invented the craze today. Shortwave listening with texting while metal detecting and DXing on ham radio handy. I do it all the time. I will do something while listening to the radio, and sometimes I multitask in 3 different things. I often do it. What else do we have here? Bob, nice to have you on board. WA2SQQ. Joseph, nice to have you here from San Francisco Bay, California. We have Storms, Razors, and Cats that does not hear me. Yeah, maybe you're in a zone. You're in a zone where maybe it's like you're skipping over where you are, and just not hearing on that 20 meter band frequency. So pretty cool. When 1960, yeah, I was thinking of looking at on Amazon to see what's there so you bought a choke kit there. Cool. To Broke Tim, is my antenna directional? It's technically not very directional, but not zero. So there's a possibility that I might have a better east-west kind of pattern, but technically it's much more of I should be close to equal, but it's definitely slightly directional for sure. That is for sure. And now we will take a time to hear a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be back in a few seconds. So let's continue. Ricky. 11 8 and 14208 Forza 9 MEX. Let's go there. There's a station, very strong station on 209. So, what else do we have? Ricky says, sorry to report, CKMX 1060 went off the air just one day after its owner said it. Was choosing a bunch of stations across Canada. I haven't been able to figure out if CFVP is on, but I imagine it's not. Yeah, I think Miki Dalmich pretty much confirmed that it's off. Yeah. Rex, Montreal contact with Czech Republic, not heard. Central Texas, too much noise here. KC5 AGO. So, wind, RFI, MI, noise suppressor, cable clips. Check that out. I'm going to experiment that this week. And hopefully by next week, I'll have a something that will be working. Mark Engel says, "This, I think this is your best show yet. Thank you so much." So, time for a piss. Okay. So I'm checking out. I was looking at there's Israel maybe on 21 300. I'm hearing something weak, but nothing much, honestly. What else is there to DX here on the handbands? 9A7 station, that's Croatia, I believe. What is there? F4DSK France 18149. 18149. Dmitry. Not hearing anything right now. It's kind of fun to look at the clusters, see what stations are around. Sometimes I just tune around. One thing I need to get the hang of is maybe myself kind of, call CQ more often. YT3 in Serbia, 14212. Hello, tune. Oh, I'm tuning on somebody else. Sorry. Go back on 12. Serbia, Yankee Tango 3 Delta. I'm going to try that. Serbia. Yankee Tango 3 Delta, 14212. Ricky, so cool to hear you making contacts here. Cool. Nick Casarino, nice to have you on board, my friend, from CountyCom. Hope you are well in California. Yeah, I do. I looked at it. Everybody was going crazy. It was like, this is so beautiful. Your setup is so nice. We're gonna have to do a live from a candle night, radio and candlelight live show. So 14212. It definitely looked special. Yeah, absolutely. It made it special, and it looks honestly, it looks even more. It was cool, and it was a lot of fun, and I like to do that. But the video looked even cooler than what the actual look was all about. There's something about the video that made it even more interesting. Yankee Tango 3 Delta. We'll see what happens with that. Um, Francis Moore can honestly say that following 9 years of full time caring, a big hole has been left in my life and a lot of sadness. Shortwave radio and gel broadcasts have been helping me through this difficult time. Well, happy to be here. If it's not the first time I had a lot of people, tell me that they are happy I'm here because thanks to what I do, it helps them. Helps them also get away from, you know, life in general. Sometimes that's not always easy. We all have these moments, and it's kind of difficult. Daniel N3WJH, nice to have you on board from Colorado. Nick says it had a clandestine feel to the show lights off. Yeah, well, if I can help in everything, the world's anxieties, I like that. W3D. Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, Italy. So this guy's from Serbia, YT3D on 14212. Francis Moore, loud and clear in Birmingham, UK. If it's a laptop computer, to Brook Tim, there definitely could be less noise created by putting chokes on the power cord. Victor Echo 2, Zulu, Zulu, Italy. 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 Good evening, sir. You are 5 and 7 also in Montreal, Quebec, and it's nice to have a contact with you. Thank you very much. Yankee Tango 3 Delta, Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu, India 73. And we got Serbia in the house. That's cool. 5-7. 5-7. And frequency of 212. 212. I have to say that, I make some FT8 contacts, but it's like really, really much more fun to do voice contacts, SSB. So it's really, really nice. So while we're doing the show, I contacted Italy 4, Papa November Foxtrot in Italy, MI0TLG in Northern Ireland, DP7D in Germany, OL100 Radio in Czech Republic, and now we got YT3D in Serbia. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sheila says, this is so cool. What do we have? Rich says 4X6TT calling CQ on 18150. Let's try it. See if we hear anything. Pretty quiet right now. Yeah, man, Radio DXer, no problem. No problem. We got to try that FT8 contact also. I think we could try it for sure. Sheila says, when I grow up, I just might get a ham license. But, it is funny. That's another dimension. We talk about listening all the time. And the fact that hopefully maybe doing this right now can help, some get into the hobby and say, hey, you know what? This is cool. This looks cool. There's another dimension of having a two-way contact, not just listening. And it's pretty cool. And having voice contact is fun. We talk about how ham radio, a lot of people complain of how ham radio is quiet. Well, it isn't that bad if we look at here. And one of the things is that if you want the bands to not be dead, well, you got to use the band and you got to be there if you're a ham radio operator. Stop whining that there's nothing and do something about it. Go on the air, call CQ, do something. I got to say that it's really important. So hope your back will get better, Bobby. Richard Califano, nice to have you here. WA2157SWL from Albany, New York. Pretty cool to have you here. David says, Jill, I first fired my Yisu FT990. Just heard you. I kind of heard you with the YouTube station, the YT station, sorry. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not hearing, I'm hearing something weak, but definitely not enough for a contact. John Beckham, 73. Take care, my friend. Have a good dinner. Man Reader the Extra says, I got my ham license because of Jill suggesting to me to try FT8 because I said I'm not much of a talker. It worked well. Yeah. I mean, that's the mode for that. I don't I got a big mouth, so it's no problem. But and I've gone through, people find it sometimes weird that we say that, but I don't find it weird that there's a certain number of people that are shy, microphone shy, and it could be for many reasons. And you know what? FT8 is a mode that gets the people that might not be um, really, they're not, they don't feel like comfortable doing a SSB voice contact, and the automation of it and all of that goes well. I had my little butterflies in the stomach when doing my first few ham contacts, and it it is interesting to to do it, but I totally understand why some people don't and would prefer doing FT8 or digital modes. That's for sure. Nick Casarino says this hobby has been the best thing in my life as it opened many doors for me, including getting my ham and commercial radio telephone license. And a lot of people working in the field of electronics, radio, and all sorts of that due to to radio. Turbo Tim hammers are almost the only thing to listen to on shortwave. Well, there's a lot more, but it's part of the fun. It's part of the what you can listen to. Pretty cool. RJ Dakota, always enjoy trying to hunt down pirates and other things. Yep. Kevin, nice to have you here. WS2H. So sorry I'm late. Just got back from the beach. Mr. Paul is doing very well. Going very well. Joey Jojo, where's the first place a Canadian should go to get info on getting a ham license? Radio Amateurs of Canada website. There you'll have the info about the license, the all that you need, and even the resources for if you want to follow the course in the virtual way. Now we have that capability. That's how I did it. I followed virtual online, and just go to rec.ca. Radio Amateurs of Canada, I think, is a great place. You'll have all the info there to get your license. So, Nick says, I need to get my commercial license with radar endorsement to work on planes and ship radios. Oh, that is cool. That's cool. Working on all the types of communications possible. Storms, Radio, and Cats on this radio. Oddity CB Pro 27. I have set up for the German CB band with a mix of US 40 channels and anything below 26965. Yeah, it's possible. There's a lot of that dead carriers all around because of devices we have. John, Tampa, Florida. I enjoy it all, especially utility stations, air traffic control, weather. Yep. Rainbow Oil is a positive example of what social media can be used for. Yeah, definitely. You use it for good and use it for great stuff. Yep, Joey Jojo. And so you can follow a course online if you want. I actually suggest to anyone that wants to get their ham license, even if they have the knowledge, because there's the electronics knowledge, the regulations, antennas, and all sorts of things. I would have passed my ham license probably um, without having to follow the course. But I think everybody should follow the course, even if they think they know it all, because you will learn stuff. And you will learn on some aspect of amateur radio that you probably don't know a lot about. And it's going to prepare yourself. Uh, the ISCD, what is it? I forgot what it's for, but it's there's the government of Canada as the 100 questions bank that you can actually, if you go on and Google amateur radio question bank Canada, you'll be on the website immediately. You can actually do the 100 questions if you want from time to time. This is a great way to also get your ham license and learn. I did it dozens and dozens of times. And the questions that are asked there are exactly the same questions that are going to be asked at the exam, because the exam gives you 100 questions out of the question bank that is in the website, the Canadian website. So it's a lot of fun, and it's not that complicated. It'll depend, of course, on what the amount of knowledge you have. I just studied in electronics, so of course the electronics side of thing was easy for me. A lot of the radio stuff I already knew from 40 years of shortwave and radio listening. But there were things, like all the regulations, what you can do, not do, and so on, that were kind of important. There's also more detail on antenna, for example. So, but it's definitely something that I think even if you would not use it much, you still it's still a cool thing to go and get at least. So, Man Radio the Extra, I used to talk a lot on the radio in my previous jobs and hated it. That is why I was not keen getting a license at first. Yeah, well, that's why, um, I that's why digital modes are good for that. Tourbrook Tim, I'm a truck driver. Put a microphone in my hands and I can't shut up. So if you ever go through Montreal with your truck, if I hear somebody that can't stop talking, I'll think of you. Oh man. Hey, I'm here and I can't shut up, so Nick says, I remember talking to the late Art Bell, 3855 kilohertz one late evening. Pretty cool. That definitely is cool. Definitely is cool. John Tampa, I'm 64 and I may just go for it. I'm radio license. Go for it. Go for it. It has a totally new dimension. You will not regret it, and you will find renewed interest. Just to give you an idea, I've been doing more radio since my ham rig is here and my ham license than I did in the previous months and years. I was getting a little fed up. And you know what? Ham radio kind of renewed my, not just ham radio, it renewed my radio listening. I found it cool to get back and listen. David says something in which I kind of surprised myself is that once licensed after 10 plus years as a shortwave listener, I thought I'd straight away call CQ and be a natural in the mic. Well, this didn't happen. It's only recently that I've really been feeling more confident and fluid when hitting the PTT. Yeah. Yeah. Listening And talking is not the same thing. You don't, you don't. It's not the same. It's like doing this show and talking all the time. We were talking yesterday at the event that I went on 103.3. The DJs talk, but most of the show is music. So, they don't talk that much. And when we talked about the International Radio Report show that I do, and he said, well, it's just talk only. And said, yep. And that's something that is a gift, I think, that to be able to just talk all the time and not shut up. And there's another thing also about talking, but being interesting. You got to do it in a way that not only are you talking to your audience, for example, like me, your audience is out there and they have to stay there and listen because you got to be interesting because or else they're going to go away. If you're boring, forget it. So you got to find ways to do it and interact. But there's a cool thing here because there's a chat room that helps me. I see things that you guys post, and so I pick up on some things that I want to talk about due to all this stuff that I see. So that's for sure. Yeah, lots of famous people or are AMs, absolutely. That's for sure. Joe Walsh, for example, is one. Dean KQ4ADG. I got my technician and general license in at 58. It definitely renewed my interest. Going to take the extra this fall with my brother, who is recently licensed. Cool. That's fun. Joey Jojo's got a face for radio. Uh, Sheila, when I was growing up, our family had a CB radio base station with SSB and an elaborate antenna system on an iTower TV tower. I used to get on it quite often. Ham would be cool. Go get your license, Sheila. Let's have a contact live on the show. Yep, chest tank. Have a captive audience, definitely. So, hey, we're gonna end it. We're at 3 hours. I just want to say that next week we're going to dedicate part of the show at the field day, where we're going to be listening to some hams that are on the air. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think part of it is going to be cool to just see what happens. And we'll talk about ham radio a little more. Talk about um, a amateur radio at the same time and what field is all about. So this is going to be pretty cool at the same time. Fred Water, nice to have you here. So take care, guys. We've been on for almost 3 hours. I want to thank you all for being here. Without you guys, this show would not be possible. And thanks for being such great fans. I wanted to copy me one more time, David. And no problem, Matt. You got all sorts of stuff to do, so it's important. Oh, you got it really? Wow. I got some of those kind of anxiety, panic attacks. Um, it's less of a problem today. I kind of found a way to manage it, but yeah, I totally understand and totally feel sometimes you gotta take care. So before the ads are in, I want to say 73. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Stay safe. See you next Saturday, 20 hours Universal Time on this channel for another live show talking about radio. Take care, guys. Love you all.